back to the Regimentals YouTube channel. Today I'm in a very noisy Waterloo in Belgium, and I'm here to visit the Wellington Museum. We're going to see the monuments at the Battle of Waterloo, and we're going to give you a tour of some of the history that happened here in the Belgium area of Waterloo 1815. So I hope you enjoy the video. On from here we'll be visiting the show at Ciney in Belgium and show you some Militaria. Yeah, really nice to focus on some very early Militaria rather than constantly doing World War I, World War II. So I hope you enjoy what you see. So this is the Baker rifle, famous rifle used during the Crimean War, and the bayonet here with it. The last one of these I had with the bayonet was sold. We sold it for about £9,000. So, you know, this is why we like coming to these museums, to see the actual artifacts. We know a lot already about the history, but seeing the artifacts is what it's all about for us. And then here is a really lovely painting. I think this was a painting by Lady Butler, famous artist from the Crimean period, of the Scots Greys. And you notice how all the horses, or most of the horses in the picture, are grey horses. That's why they were known as the Scots Greys. So some very nice heavy cavalry swords. This one in particular is very interesting because it's the straight edge sword, as you can see. But what's nice about it is the model that everyone's trying to get, which is the hatchet point. If you look at the bottom here, it has a quite unique cut to the end of it. Later they were made into like a spear point, but that is the hatchet cut blade, which is the one that everyone's trying to get. So we visited Wellington's headquarters in the town, seen some artefacts in the museum, and now we are at the battlefield of Waterloo. There's a monument there now, and these are the fields where the battle took place. Let's see what is inside. So inside the museum is very dark, and it starts off with a history of the French Revolution and how it started, which doesn't sound too similar to what's going on in the world today. And then it has this amazing display here of uniforms, soldiers all on horses. All of the uniforms and all the artifacts are reproductions, so it's just for kids really to see, or for people to see, you know, how the uniforms would have looked. Uniforms from the Napoleonic Wars, you know, Battle of Waterloo are extremely hard to find because they all perished in the battle. This is very interesting sort of pictures, moving pictures here, designed to be like oil paintings. But it's a good display. So this is really interesting for Militaria collectors because the creator of one of the first museums here at Waterloo was one of the soldiers who took part in the battle, and he started this museum shortly after the battle. It was that early on in the history of Militaria, people were starting to create museums and collect this kind of stuff. And here is an image of all of the items that he collected after the battle. So we've just finished looking inside the museum. It's very impressive, quite interactive, very good for kids. But the highlight of the exhibition was the 4D film, the 4D cinema, showing in detail the Battle of Waterloo and how the scene was played out. If you come here and only get to see that footage, I think it lasts about 15 minutes, it's absolutely worthwhile. It was unbelievable. Now we are going to head up to the very top of the monument and have a look at the battlefields with almost a panoramic view. It's going to take me a lot of energy to get up there, so I might be slightly out of breath by the time I get to the top. So, made it to the top. As you can see, there's quite a lot of steps. I think it's about like 300 steps. Quite steep, but it gives you a really good view of the fields where the battle took place. It's very early in the morning. I'm here at Ciney, and so far early this morning it's been a very successful show for buying. Bought this really beautiful double Errol infantry cap with the vented cockade. Beautiful condition. It was expensive, but really nice condition. And then I also managed to pick up this stunning SS helmet cover in plane tree. Lovely wear to the front brow on it. It's just beautiful, and the way that it holds its form when it sits upside down is a true sign of an original, because the copies would either crumple down or you know, sometimes on the copies the material is very thick because it's been made from Zeltbar material. Things to look out for when looking for a real SS helmet cover is mostly in the stitching. The stitching should always be longer and flatter than you see on the copies. The copies almost have like a bubbled stitching. Also, the construction of them is always very neat. Don't ever think that, oh, they were made in a hurry, so therefore the stitching should be in wonky lines. That, you know, it's typical German manufacture. The stitching is always very neat. This is the second pattern plane tree cover, the one with the loops for foliage. But a beautiful thing. Hardly ever see the, you know, you see oak leaf patterns, but to find a plane tree camouflage pattern is very hard. So here at Ciney we mostly specialise in selling books. For some reason here at the show, books seem to sell better than Militaria, particularly towards the end of the show when people don't want to carry the books around anymore. So we always make sure we have plenty of books here in stock. We also do bring Militaria, but we limit how much we bring. There's a lot of people here at the show, so it's always high risk bringing too many items. But here's a small display of some of the items that we brought here for the show. So I'm back now from Ciney. We had a safe trip back. The show was mayhem. It's always really busy at the show there. So I kind of didn't get a chance to wrap up the video whilst I was there at the show. So I thought it was a good chance now I'm back to show you the last few bits that I managed to get at the show. And we can wrap up the video. So what I wanted to show you, I didn't get a chance at the show, was I bought something at the show which you just do not see anymore. It seems to me that every single German paratrooper helmet you see on the market is a camouflage helmet. It's incredibly hard now to find a plain single decal Luftwaffe paratroopers helmet. I bought a really nice large size one. It's shell size 71, always the most popular of all the sizes for paratrooper helmets, because the larger the helmet, the more impressive it looks. And it's really nice condition. The paint finish on the helmet is a lovely dark grey, almost shades of apple green, so it's kind of mid-war. The decal is all there, and the straps all very nice condition. They're not the early ones, they're not the late ones, they're the mid-war type. And all the stamps are in the liner. Lovely wide stitches on the central seam of the helmet. That's always what you look for when you're looking for a copy. The stitching on the copies is always very, very tight. You can't see the stitches, whereas on an original they should be spaced out evenly and very, very neatly done. Really lovely piece. I'm so glad. I mean, I actually want for my own collection a single decal paratrooper helmet, but you know, I just can't keep buying things for myself. It has to go into stock. So this one will be going onto the website. Another rare item that I managed to get at the show is a Bavarian enlisted man's pickle harp. Now, what's special about this is it's the tin pickle. You quite often see Prussian tin pickle harps, but it's been a long time since I've seen a Bavarian one, all one piece. Yes, it's got a few knocks in it, it's not perfect, but it's the rarity of finding a Bavarian one in tin, which is the most important thing with this one. And lastly, I've had a few of these in the past. They always sell. The last one I had, I sold for £6,000. This one will be on the website, just a little slightly more. But it's the Waffen Ss Officers Cap. Really beautiful condition, lovely dove grey in colour, lovely shape to it, matching Waffen SS insignia. This is a beautiful piece, and I'm sure it won't last long on our website. So they're the last few pieces I wanted to show you. Just to say, I hope you enjoyed the video. Going to the battlefields of Waterloo was really a highlight of the trip. I can't recommend it highly enough. It really makes it atmospheric, and the first thing I'll be doing in the next few days is watching one of the movies, the original movie of Waterloo, so I can get an understanding more of the film and the battlefield as well. So we're updating our website on Thursday this week, and hopefully you'll see some of these pieces on there. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already.